Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are doing our morning manna and we are looking at how we can make the Word of God relevant and reachable in our lives so that we can actualize and accomplish everything that He has called us to do in our lives. So we've been looking over the last couple of days. We've been in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, and I wanted to take a few moments to go back and really spend some time on something that I feel like I might have glazed over, and it is the order in which the world and everything in it was created over the 6 days. And I want to really spend a few minutes just talking about the structure in which God created everything in the world. So we know that on the 6th day, God created man. And we know that on day 1 through day 5, God created everything else. And then when He was talking to man, He said, I have given you everything that you need. I have given you the herb bearing fruit, the herb bearing seed. And I've given you, in other words, everything that you need in the natural world is already in place to provide for you. And at that point in the world, animals were not even carnivorous. Animals were eating the the trees and the grass and the fruit. They didn't eat meat at that point. Only after the fall of man and the flood did we see animals begin to eat other animals, and humans eat animals as well. That all of that doesn't really, that's just me giving you information right there. But when you think about how God organized everything in the earth, He didn't put us here until the earth could sustain us. He didn't put us here until He had caused the earth to mist and to water everything that was already in place, and caused the seeds to bear fruit, and everything grew and was in place, so that when man came forth, he didn't suffer any lack. Adam and Eve had everything that they needed available to them right there in the garden. Now, that's just on the natural perspective, but we can look at that from a principle perspective and know that there's an additional message there that we need to really tap into. And that goes into into when God created man, male and female. He gave us everything that we needed to function. Our body can heal itself. When we are down and depressed, we have the ability and the capacity to speak ourselves into a place where we are productive and able to do what God has called us to do. When we don't have money to pay our bills or to do the things that we need to do, we allow our creativity to function, and we go out and we find ways to get what we need. When man was living without heat, he learned about fire. When he was trying to eat meat with his hands, somehow or another, he learned how to use a stone as a knife, and created ways to create cutlery to eat with. He learned about the herbs and what heals the body, and learned it. I believe that some of that knowledge was in Adam and Eve, but as of the separation, then man had to go out there and discover all of the mysteries of the world around him that should have been available to him. But it's there. Just because you don't know about it does not mean it's there. Just because you haven't figured out how to tap into it does not mean that it's not there. So everything that you need in order to prosper and to grow in your life, you already have the seeds of it. You already have the creative power to bring it to pass in your life. You just have to figure out how to tap into it. Everything that you need is on the inside of you. Zig Ziglar used to say he believed that man was endowed with the seeds of greatness. And I had to memorize that in high school, and I can't tell you the rest of it right now, but it's deep and profound. And basically, it says that you have greatness on the inside of you, you were ordained with it. And even in the book of Jeremiah, God tells Jeremiah, before you had a body, I knew you and I ordained you to be a prophet. So when before Jeremiah even had a body, God had already called him. In order for God to call him before he had a body, that meant that when he brought that body forth, he was going to put the talents, the spiritual gifts, and everything that he needed inside him in order for him to prosper in his calling. So, what are you called to be? What are you called to do? Who are you called to serve? Don't look around you and say that your world isn't aligning with what you're called to do. Don't look around you and say you don't have the talent, you don't have the knowledge, the know-how to walk in your calling. Know that it is in you. You got it in you. It's in you. You are called to walk in it. Walk in it. Walk in it. Live it out and overflow in it. Overflow in the goodness, the talent, and the creativity that's on the inside of you. It's in you. Search it out, find it, and put it to work for you. And when you put it to work for you, know that your fruit that you bear is going to be more than enough for you and for the others that God calls to serve, that calls you to serve in.